Just for our audience members who have not seen you featured on Vogue or seen the documentary or heard of your book, can you please tell us just a little bit about yourself and why we're doing this interview today?
My name is Asante, McGee. I'm 39 years old, originally from New Orleans, and I currently reside outside of Atlanta. I have 3 children, one grandson. Pretty much I've dated R&B star R. Kelly for about 2 years. And within that 2 year time period, the beginning of our relationship started out to be, everything that I dreamed of. He was just one loving guy. He always did everything right. In my opinion, he was very honest with his lifestyle as far as, the different women and different things like that. So with dealing with my background, being abused, I was in a marital abuse prior to dating R. Kelly. And so I like the fact that he was very honest. Within that 2 year mark, he actually moved me in to his Atlanta home. This was something that was just brought to me by surprise. But I just went on and agreed to live with him. And during my short period of stay, which was about 3 weeks, I started noticing a change of R. Kelly. As far as the different abusive behavior, the controlling patterns, and different things like that. And I just knew that that was not something that I signed up for. And I just knew that I was worth more than that. And I just had to leave.
That is really, really something. And I'm just loving that we are having the opportunity to just interview and talk because I was a huge R. Kelly fan, like most women. And when all this stuff started coming out, all the women started speaking out, I was just really disgusted. But the one thing that I'm happy to have you here is there's so many women that end up in these situations, not just with R&B singers, but with just regular men every day. So tell me a little bit, what led you to, you said something good. You said you started knowing your worth. You did 3 weeks, and that was all you could do.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that, because a lot of women, that's where they get stuck at. They don't love themselves enough to want to get out of those situations. So let's talk about that for a little bit.
I guess in the beginning, even before meeting, I address him as Rob. So you're probably gonna hear me say Rob.
Okay.
But before Rob, I was married. I was with my husband for 13 years, married for 11 years. And throughout that 13 years, he was constantly verbally abusing me and physically abusing me. And just dealing with abuse in my marriage, I actually thought it was okay. And just to back things up, as a child, I was abused by my own mother. So just having a pattern of abuse, and I kept making excuses for him why he would do this to me. And then, he'll hit me and then probably won't hit me again for another 6 months. And I always blame myself, trying to figure out what I did wrong to cause him to, physically and verbally abuse me. And so as time kept going by, I would leave him because everybody was in my ear. Oh, leave him, he's no good, blah, blah, blah. But then I had to realize I was leaving him because everybody else wanted me to leave him. So I was trying to please them. And I kept going back. So I had to realize when you leave someone, you have to really be tired. Your heart has to be tired. And after going through him cheating on me and everything else, having a baby on me or whatever, finally I had got the nerve that every little thing that he did irked my nerves. So that's how I knew my heart was tired and I couldn't deal with it anymore. So then when I met Rob, he was open. He let me know that there were other women, which I knew I would be a fool to believe that there were no other women involved with him. He's R. Kelly. Mm-hmm. So because he automatically, shared that with me and he let that be my decision if I still wanted to date him, I appreciated that and I gave him the respect versus with my ex-husband, he just was cheating on me with multiple women and I had to find out because these women would contact me. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, he was wining and dining me, doing whatever he needed to do to please me. I didn't see any red flags. But I say within a year and a half of that relationship, I started seeing little small red flags. But after he do something to you, and it's like he would act as if nothing happened, and he'll just charm you where you think, oh yeah, he didn't mean to do that. He really, was tired or whatever. So when I got into their house, as a mother and as a woman, witnessing what he was doing to me as well as the other girls that was in the house, I knew that I couldn't just stay there and allow him to treat me like that. And furthermore, having a teenage daughter, I knew if my daughter was in a relationship, whether it's with an older man or just a man in general, and he's treating them the way that he was treating us, I would want somebody to reach out to me and tell me, hey, I don't know if you know your daughter's dating, Billy Bob, but if you do, I just want to let you know what Billy Bob is doing to your daughter. And that's when you as a parent know you need to get your daughter out with however way you can. And so that's where it was for me, because I pretty much went through abuse throughout my life. And when I left my husband, I promised myself I would never let another man treat me the way he did. And that's what I thought I was doing when I got with Rob. I thought he was this man that would never abuse me. I've shared my stories with him. And, so I never thought that he could actually do what my husband was doing, even worse. Mm-hmm. And some people probably think what worse could be done if your husband beats you and if he, verbally abused you. I guess when I felt like he caught me at a vulnerable point of my life. Like you say, I was that huge R. Kelly fan. I was the one that would buy every CD that came out. My first R. Kelly concert, I was about 14, 15 years old, going to an R. Kelly concert in a foster home. So that's why I say that 3 weeks I knew my worth, and I refused no matter who that man was. I was not going to allow him to do that to me.
So, I did hear some stories from other women who shared their experiences, and I'll tell you, it's been some crazy stuff. Could you tell us just a little bit about the experience?
The first crazy experience that I witnessed with him, that I encountered with him, was I want to say it was March of 2015. He invited me to Chicago for Easter. And when he invited me there for Easter, I flew in on a Thursday, and I was supposed to leave Saturday so I could go back home, to be with my kids on Easter. So I arrived to Chicago about Thursday. I didn't hear anything from him on Thursday. I want to say I might have got to Chicago on Wednesday. It was either Wednesday or Thursday, but I do know I didn't hear from him for the first 2 days. And so Friday morning, he texted me, come to the studio. And, I responded back. I said, okay, I'm taking a shower. So I took my shower. I texted him because one of the rules was we had to let him know, whenever we were traveling or just day by day, if we wanted to go somewhere, we had to let him know where we were going and or ask him, can we go somewhere? So I would text him, hey, I'm on my way to the studio. I get to the studio. I text him, I'm outside. He called me. The first thing he asked me was, I'm out of the Uber, standing in front of the studio. I didn't even realize there were cameras outside of the studio. So he asked me, what do you have on? I said, a jogging suit. He was like, good girl. And so then he asked me, how's the weather? I said, it's hot, but it's windy. I said, it's sunny, but windy. He said, it can't be both. I didn't argue with him because I'm like, I know what I'm feeling, but okay. So he said, well, my assistant is going to put you on a sprinter. So the assistant came out, put me on the sprinter. I'm on the sprinter. I'm just, sitting there. So maybe about 30 minutes, my friend started calling me, hey, what you doing? So this is, remind you, I arrived at the studio around 11 o'clock a.m. I'm on the phone talking to my friends, not realizing time passed by. So I say about 1, 2 o'clock, I had to use the restroom. So I text them, hey, Daddy, I need to use the restroom. No response. I waited for about a good hour when I text him, maybe about every 20 minutes. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's busy, whatever. He never responded. I got off the sprinter, found a local restaurant around the corner to use the restroom, and hurt and came back. I was scared that if I would have got caught, I didn't know what would have happened. So about 8 o'clock that night, his assistant comes and said, Mr. Kelly said, come inside. So remind you, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., I'm on this sprinter. No contact with him. He's not responding to my text messages or anything. Some ask me why I did not leave. I guess I was on the phone with so many people during my time on the sprinter. Time had went by so fast, and I didn't realize how long I'd been on the sprinter. So I go inside of the studio. He, greets me with a hug. He asks me how I'm doing. And in my mind, like, is he serious right now? They had a few other females there because he was getting ready to have a party. He offered me something to drink, offered me something to eat. So I sat down on the sofa. We talked for maybe 10 minutes. Guests started arriving. He entertained the guests. So I was there about 2 o'clock in the morning. I walked up to him and said, Daddy, I have to leave because my flight leave. I think my flight was to leave like 6, 7 o'clock that morning. So he gave me like a little puppy dog face. You have to leave? I was like, yeah. And I was like, why? What's wrong? He was like, I want you to stay with Daddy another night. I was like, I came up with every excuse. I was like, well, the hotels are sold out. He was like, this Chicago, we will find you somewhere to stay. That's, and then I was like, oh, the ticket to change is going to be $1,000. He was like, that's not a problem. So at that point, I was forced to stay. It's not like he held a gun to me, but he basically let me know he didn't want me to leave. So I sat back down. He disappeared with another woman about 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't see him anymore that night. So I ended up finally leaving. Everybody left the studio. I got an Uber and went back to the hotel. The next morning, I texted him, good morning, Dad. Do you want me to come back to the studio? I didn't hear from him at all the next day. So I then went on and changed my ticket to leave out. Then, that I think I ended up leaving Sunday morning, Easter Sunday morning. Monday, he texted me and said, hey, where are you? Come and see me. I'm back in Atlanta. No response, as if he was upset. Well, I didn't hear from you for another 2 days. I wasn't going to just sit around Chicago like I did the first time. So that was the first time that he pretty much, I guess, controlled me without me realizing he controlled me. And so from that moment on, it was just like little things, but it was never into the extreme like that. Okay. I was used to going. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, okay, yeah, you keep going.
Right, so from, he would always fly me from city to city. There was, I was used to probably seeing him and not seeing him. He's even told me I'm a busy man. I would, respond to you as it seems fit to me. Okay, cool. You're R. Kelly. I understand you. You got an upcoming tour coming. You have a lot of stuff. So I always made excuses for why I would be stuck in city to city, but he always made sure I was okay.
Okay.
So May of 2016 is when he finally introduced me to the other girls he's been telling me he's going to introduce me to. So we was on the sprinter for, hours or whatever, engaged in sexual activities. And he called the girl to the bus. The girl had been on the bus the entire time, which was a shocker to me. And after he had her to introduce herself and everything, and we sat down talking, the way he introduced me was, you remember the girl I made sit on the sprinter back in Chicago? This is her. I was like, I say to myself, are you kidding me? So you really plotted this, and this was really, done on purpose. It wasn't an accident where you fell asleep and anything. You purposely left me on this sprinter for all those hours. And so pretty much from that moment on, every time I engaged activity with him, it was something that he would make me do that I was not comfortable with. If I didn't agree with it, he'd be like, well, get out my face or get off the bus, leave, go back home. So it was like you wanted to do whatever you could do to please him, because the simple fact is, if you said no, then you didn't want to make him upset. So then that's when the routine started changing. I had to have permission to take a bath. I had to get permission to use the bathroom. I had to ask for food. It was one time I had to tell him, you like to starve people, and I like to eat. And, he was upset. Don't be telling people that I don't like to feed y'all. I don't need people thinking I'm not feeding my girls. But I'm like, you're not. So it was to the point that I'm walking around with a Victoria's Secret bag full of snacks because I never knew when my next meal was going to come. And so every day he was imposing a new rule on me. Oh, you need to change your clothes. That's not appropriate. You need to start wearing jogging suits. This is June, but you want me to wear a full jogging suit in June. That's not going to cut it. So it was different stuff like that, and being summoned to have sex with him, which in a black room. It was to the point that I needed to go home to get clothes. I stopped asking him to go get clothes because Every time I call him, it was always an excuse. And then he would tell me to come to the black room. And I hated the black room because anything went down the black room, whether you liked it or not.
Wow. So I did see one girl speak on, because when I hear this story about R. Kelly, it's very similar to most abusive men who are abusive. His upbringing and being molested and things of that nature. One girl mentioned that he would have that he would have her use dildos and things on him. Did you ever experience any type of strange activity like that where he wanted some type of homosexual sexual pleasure?
Yes. The first time I've actually witnessed it was during a buffet tour. He had a stop in Houston, Texas. And after the buffet tour, we all stayed at the St. Regis Hotel in Houston. And we all would have our own room, but he would either come to your room or you go to his room. So before I, got off the bus, he was like, "Come to my room." I went to his room. There was another girl there. So we were engaged in sexual activity. And he grabbed my hand and go into the bedroom. When he goes into the bedroom, he goes into a book sack. He pulls out a dildo. I'm thinking, oh, it's about to get freaky. It's about to go down. He laid down. He inserted the dildo into himself. When he did that, I was shell-shocked. Like, what in the fuck? Excuse my language. That was like, okay, this is not real. I'm being punked. Ashton's about to come out here like you're being punked. He saw my facial expression where he literally told me, "It's going to be okay, baby. Lay down on daddy's chest." So I'm laying down on his chest as he's like inserting the dildo in his butt, and the other girl is sucking on his dick. And his reaction to that dildo in his butt was like one I've never seen before. He enjoyed that dildo more than he's enjoyed any woman he's been with. After he finished, it was like nothing had happened. We went back in the living room, we talked, we ordered, room service or whatever. I was like, okay, maybe this is not what really just happened. Maybe this was a nightmare. So we went to the next city. I didn't witness the dildo anymore until he moved me to Atlanta home. This time, he had one of the girls stick her middle finger up his behind, and he sit there and was like showing you or telling you how, what spot to get. And then he gets up and pull out another dildo. This time, it's a double-sided dildo. And I'm like, what in the hell? This is real? And it was the exact same thing again. And I was like, what in the hell did I just sign myself up to? And then I remembered, like maybe a year prior to that, he texted me and told me he didn't think I was strong enough to be in his world because his world comes with so many rules. I never realized what he meant until now.
You wrote the book. What was the inspiration for doing the book? What made you so brave to be able to tell this story? Because some women are like, I'm not about to speak about this. One, because some may feel ashamed, and then two, some people may be afraid to even speak out against this man. What inspired you or led you to not be silent anymore?
When the BuzzFeed article first came out in July of 2017, just reading a lot of backlash. Oh, she's lying. Oh, how could you fall for something like that? Oh, you just got mad because he no longer wants you. It was just so many people calling me a liar. Saying that I was old enough. I knew better. So I felt like I needed the world to understand my position, how I ended up falling for this man. Not even so much as a fan. And what a lot of people fail to realize is when I said I was with this man for 2 years, 2.5 years, they think that I actually lived with this man for 2.5 years. And so I post a lot of videos, me at his concerts, VIP or whatever. I even brought several friends with me. So when you're flying back and forth, there's a different treatment. Only thing you see is R. Kelly, R. Kelly, R. Kelly. I did not see Robert until I actually moved into his house. So when I moved into his house, within 3 weeks, I was already plotting my escape because I knew this was not the life for me. This is not what I wanted. And so I just wanted people to understand that I was born into abuse. I was abused by my mom, where she literally tried to kill me. Where I moved with my family, I was not so much physically abused, but I was emotionally abused by my family, where I put myself into foster care because I just could not do it anymore. Even it's like my family blamed me for my mom abusing me and going to jail. And then it's like two girls. One of the girls was the mistress of my ex-husband. She even thought it was so funny. I didn't even know my child abuse was public record, where she was passing my child abuse link to everyone, where it was a transcript, where, the testifying and everything was going between the psychiatrist there, the pediatrician doctors, the detectives, everyone. She was going to the point where she was on Twitter saying I caused my own abuse, I did self-inflicted wounds to myself. I mean, everything the unimaginable. That I went into a depression. I went into depression.
Wow.
And so I really wanted to just stop everything. I regretted for speaking out and everything, but I started praying. I started fasting. I have people that support me and kept telling me, Asante, women need to hear your story. Not that it could happen to any of us. You don't have to be a celebrity. It could just be anybody. And so people be able to hear your story and get an understanding, and maybe I can help other people. It wasn't so much trying to get people to believe me, because I care less whether you believe me or not. I just wanted people to just get a better understanding how I felt, a victim of his. I felt like I was seeking for love, and I thought he genuinely loved me until I found out who Robert was.
And he realized it was more of a problem. And, I'm so grateful that women like you are speaking out and speaking up. So, one, I just wanted to thank you because it is absolute bravery. But my whole thing is we have to start protecting each other and sharing more. I feel if more women spoke out about the abuse they are being subjected to from men, no matter what, celebrity status they have, that will help other women not to fall into those situations. And then sharing your story of how you are no longer in that state, you can help other women who are in that state trying to look for a way out. When I was 18 years old, I was in an abusive relationship. It only took me 3 weeks to realize this was not for me. I have to go. So I thought that similarity with us both was interesting. So what are people going to find with your book?
The book officially released on January 3rd. So in the book, like I said, you pretty much will hear my childhood, being born into abuse, my experiences. I mean, my book pretty much gives you detail, and I go straight to the point. I don't sugarcoat anything. I accept responsibility for my actions, for everything I've done. And so pretty much, like I said, you're going to hear about my childhood, me putting myself into foster care, reunited back with my family. After reunited back with my family, leaving and, adulthood, beating my ex-husband, actually being homeless as an adult, to joining I didn't even discuss me joining the military, but meeting my husband, thought that he was the guy for me, to divorcing my husband, dealing with the pregnant mistress, to me meeting R. Kelly, and to pretty much life after all of the backlash that I've received, that I'm constantly receiving. I mean, I have people that actually look up my hashtags to stalk me and comment negative comments about me every day. I have to continue to block people every day because it's never a stopping point for me. And what I've learned that we have to support each other. And so pretty much a lot of us women, and it's unfortunately that all of us don't support each other because we're victim shamed by the world, that we're now divided when we shouldn't be. So it seemed like the older group of women who actually was with this man as an adult, I guess we support each other more because we understand each other more. Being a victim of his as an adult versus those that was victimized by him as a child. And I think the biggest thing for me was a lot of people did not like. You always heard the stories about the sex tape, and I tell everybody I've never seen a succeed to this day. Never been interested in seeing it. But you've always heard about him being a pedophile. He always liked young girls. Right. And it's not so much about he loved young girls. He liked anybody he could manipulate. He realized it's easier to manipulate the younger versus the older women. But once he finds an older woman that he can manipulate, then you're fair game.
Wow.
And so you didn't hear about how he sexually abused you and physically abused you. You always just heard about him being a pedophile. And I just want people to also realize that too, that there's no age limit to this man. It's young or old. Anybody he can manipulate, you're his target.
What is your goal? Like, what do you hope happens?
My goal at this point, the girls that's at the house with him, I do want them to reunite with their family, even if they decide that they still want to be with him, because again, we cannot control who you love and who you want to be with. Mm-hmm. But I just want these girls and other women to know your worth. If a man's starting to separate you from your family, that's like a red flag, because if he has nothing to hide, why would he distance you from your family? Right. And so I just want to speak out to young girls as well as women to just see the telltale signs. Everything that glitters not gold. So, I mean, he, spoiled me, gave me whatever I wanted, but that was just his way of getting me into his dark side, of getting to know Robert. So I just want people stop trying to get with people just because they feel like, oh, well, he just bought me this car, or he just bought me this designer bag. But you have to realize sometimes it's more that you have to put out for getting these designer bags. Not all men are like that. You do have some men that actually, love treating women, but they're going to treat them with respect. For me, the hardest thing is, after dealing with Rob, it's been hard for me to date. After Rob, I've tried to date again, all to find out that he was just another Rob. I sit there, he knew my story with him, and I blame myself, like maybe I shouldn't have told him my background, because maybe he would have not abused me, and maybe he just knew I was vulnerable, so that's why he took advantage of the situation. But then I have to think to myself, it's not your fault. That's me again blaming myself for being treated by these men the way I was treated. If a man is going to abuse you, that's always been in him. He's just going to cater to you and, wine you and dine you. And then once you get to like 6 months in, you see the true him. So I'm just hoping to go to like different battered women shelters, group homes. Cause like I said, I was in a foster care, so speaking to girls in foster care group homes, just doing whatever I can to try to bring awareness and to let people know you're not alone. And sometimes your family won't support you. A stranger will support you. And with me, I found that my most support is with strangers, people that's not even blood to me. And it's sad to say my family has turned their back on me once again.
Wow. Well, I just really commend you, sister, just for being brave, sharing your story. And it's such a blessing. And I'm just grateful to be able to share this story through our platform, because there's so many women that go through situations and they have to deal with men who are abusive. As far as R. Kelly, what do you wish happens to him? Do you wish he gets help? Do you pray for him? Do you see that he is, deeply has issues that he needs to take care of? Like, what do you want or see happening to him?
I definitely want him to seek professional help, not just going to talk to, your local preacher or something like that. He needs to commit himself into a professional institution. He needs to get inpatient treatment. And then I say once he gets that inpatient treatment, and then continue outpatient treatment as well, because this is actually a sickness that he has that he refused to recognize. Okay. He just thinks that we all just against him, the world is against him, but he has a lot of fans. There's a lot of people that love R. Kelly. He needs to identify Robert, and Robert needs to get the help that Robert needs, and stop hiding behind R. Kelly.
All right, so I always end all my interviews by asking the person I'm interviewing, give us 3 tips of your advice. I would like you to give us 3 tips of advice for women what they should look out for when they're entering into relationships based upon your experience. What should they look out for to make sure they are choosing the right kind of guy, and what are those red flags? Your 3 top.
One, make sure he loves his mother. See how he treats his mom. Because one thing I've noticed, if you don't respect his mama, you cannot expect him to respect you. And I say that Rob always look up to his mom, but deep down there's just a cover up. Or Kelly looks up to his mom, but Rob don't. And I've noticed that with my ex-husband, and then another guy that I dated. He didn't have respect for his own mom. Another one, controlling. If he want to know your every whereabout, or say if he called you and he missed you missed his phone call, but why didn't you answer the phone? Or he might slow pick it and say, I called you like 3 times. What happened? Or I text you. So look at the controlling aspect of the relationship. And then the third thing is if you try to isolate you from your family. So like if you want to go out of town and spend, just to go visit family and friends, and he might purposely plan something just for the 2 of you, so you won't be with your family and friends. Those are telltale signs that he wants you, just you and him, and he would still want